There we go, another piece of furniture made to keep the good lady wife happy so I can go fishing. And here's a fishing trip when I went down to the river trying to catch a big chub. There's a bit about floats as well. Do not miss it. It's worth seeing. The river looks really, really good. I wanted to go at the top end. There's about 12 or 15 cars at this, absolutely rammed. And somebody had some chub there. So I just come down to stretch here. There's one guy there, there's a guy there. This guy's had 3 minnows. It's, I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning, so I'm only late to the party as usual. Big storm coming in tomorrow night. I think that's why so many anglers out. The end of the season, the river looks good. I don't know this swim. I used to fish it 30, 40 years ago, maybe longer. So I'm going to have a float fish down here. I've just thrown out a swim feeder with a piece of luncheon meat on for whatever. I'm going to be working with stodge, what we call stodge. I'll show you what it is. So stodge is basically a mixture of just ground bait, any old bits and bobs. And I've got bread in there. You can see I've got loaf. You can see I've got here cheapest bread I can buy, loaves. You mash it all up, slop it all up, and then you just throw it in quite big gobs like this. Oh, out we go. Let it work down, then follow up with a piece of flake, but a really big piece of flake. So I'm looking for a chub. I think that's about all I've got a chance of catching today. I can't imagine a barbel taking the quiver tip rod, but you never know. Plenty of anglers out. Hopefully I'll get something. Ah, oh, damn, I'm exhausted. I've moved down, I'm not catching anything. I haven't had a bite. I can't tell you how far I've walked and how many times I've cast. I've seen a guy catch, well, I haven't seen him, he had 1 chub. I saw another guy who had 2 chub. Maggots on both people, I think it was red maggots, I think. The guy had one down there, rolling meat. There's loads of people, wherever you want to go, it looks like a good swim, there's somebody in it. So I'm left with sort of the rubbish swims. I cannot buy a bite, and it is pretty well idyllic. It's a bit fast for me. I find it a bit fast reading the water because I'm not a local. So I don't normally summer fish. I used to pike fish it, not back in fish it, which is what this is. The wind's coming up now. I can feel it starting to come downstream. So the float's gone. Been rolling meat. The feeder there, that's got nothing. I've tried worm on it. I'm just going to go up here and try and roll a bit of meat around, try and salvage something, but it looks like Skunksville for me. Anyway, there is one tiny stream that I might hit tomorrow, which I think is literally the last day that I will fish at before the season finishes and the storm comes in. It might not flood. We get a lot of rain. It just takes like a day to flood, whereas this probably will be up quite quickly. It's a spate river, so it will come up and it will colour. Might fish his head off, but I'm not coming all the way back down again to blank. It's the way it goes, folks. You know what it's like, a lot of you anglers out there. But I have to tell you, after a bad winter of weather, it's just nice to get out and see a view like that. I know these people say it's just nice to be out there even if I don't catch anything. No, I do come to catch fish and eat sandwiches. People, I've moved for the 10th time. It's down to the 15-minute warning. I've got luncheon meat out in the current and I've had a real thump of a bite. Luckily I was holding the rod. Absolutely pure luck. I haven't got the fish by a long way. I should imagine it's a chub. I don't think it's a barbel. The other feed rod I got is just here with worm on it. It's got to be a chub, but it was a good bite. I will take anything at this last minute. Big cube of luncheon meat like I fish up on the Y, but I've had nothing rolling the meat. I cast way over by that fallen tree and it just bumped around. I let it bump a couple of times. He's hanging out in the current. I don't think he's a 2-pounder, I've got to be honest. The way today has gone, it would not surprise me if it pings off. So I'm playing it fairly light. Not haul-arsing on it. Let's hope the battery on the camera lasts. Oh no, there he goes. That was a head shake. What the heck? Come on, boy, come on. Give me one break. I'm going on back wind as well now, just to be safe. Here he is, he's down there somewhere. Here comes a lead. Oh, nice chub. That's a nice chub. That's the old rubber dub. Oh, that is a big chub, boys. That is a big old chub. Oh no, don't go in there. That could be 5. Oh, he's a chunk. Oh my word. Look at that chub. Holy schmoly, boys. I'll be interested to see where he's hooked. He's just nicked, or has he throated it? No, he's just nicked there. Hooks out. Oh, of course, it's the shot's gone through there. Rag. Oh my God, I'll tell you what. I 100% thought I was on a blank. That is a stonker of a chub. That is big. Look at the size of that. That is a 6, certainly. Big tail on it. What a beaut. Big fat belly. Wow. It's like a grouse carp. That's what you come to this river for. That's why there's so many people down here. I was so lucky. I consider myself extremely fortunate to come out without a blank. That's a 6. It won't go 7, but it's quite a big 6. Oh, let's get that one back. You know why? That's right, I want to get it out again. What a fish, what a fish. This looks like an absolute quagmire down there. I saw another angler here. One last look at that fish, boys. Look at that one. Wackadoo. Just let him recover. That's all a 6 pound, that one. Look at that. Luncheon meat. And there he goes, back to where he lives. I was very, very, very fortunate to be touch ledgering at the time, and of course now I'm going to have to hang on, aren't I? My quiver tip's out there with a worm on, and I think the best thing I'm going to do is take the worm off and freshen the feeder up, hold the left hand one and put, I can't think straight, guys, put a cube of luncheon meat on that as well. Wow, end of the season to finish. That's my biggest chub of the year, I've got to tell you that now, guys. Right, let's have this one in. Get Mr. Worm off. I put the worm on because I thought I might salvage something with an eel or something. I've got one of my, look, chunking homemade feeders that give me so much success up on the Y. I think if that rod was in the rest, I'd have missed that fish. So, the thing is, with luncheon meat, it gets cold in the cold water in the winter. So the hook doesn't pull through it quite so hard, so if you're not really holding it, you might miss the fish. A little bit sloppy, the mix, but what a fish. I can't believe I got so lucky. So difficult when you haven't had a fish I haven't had a bite. I haven't had a bite for, what, 8 hours. I thought I'd just hold that rod to amuse myself. There we go. Go a little bit farther with this one. And then what I can do is fish the other luncheon meat around the outside of it. That's a theory. See, the trouble I'm having is judging the pace of the cart and where the fish are. And I don't know. So I've gone 5 pounds straight through. I've got, the only weight I've got is this one. So I've had to double up with 2 SSGs as stock shot to give me the weight so it doesn't roll out of position. Wow. I was literally 5-10 minutes from packing up. Now, see if I can go up a tree. I've lost some gear today, boys, so I don't want to talk about it. Oh. That's about where I was. Things I like to bump it. And I was just sitting, holding it like this. Just sort of chilling, as it were. What a good job I was holding it. Right, I'll come back if I do have another hook up, guys. If I don't, I don't. This is the time. It'd be nice to have a barbel, wouldn't it? Greedy, greedy fisherman. £6 chub, now he wants a barbel. Oh, I've got to have a sort out in here. Such a mess. But it's cold. I've got the old Helly Hansen on, so I'm not sponsored by Helly Hansen. It was £10, I think it was, out of a charity shop. I just like it. It is definitely warm. You've doubtless seen me use it before. Anyway, got the old kanji rod, and I noticed when I was pike fishing, I don't know, a week or so ago, insert has gone. Could be me ramming it in and out the rod bag, in and out the car. I fished with it, caught some pike to double figures, all good stuff. Haven't put the film up yet. So it was still wire, but I topped my reels off because I go beach fishing with them with mono. So I've got, let's say, 40–50 pound braid on the spinning reel. Then I top off, if I've got the space there, about, I'm going to say, probably 30 yards or so of 30 pound mono. The reason being, when I'm fishing on pebbly beaches or rocky rough ground, I've noticed I have lost sets of gear, and I think the braid snags in the boulders and settles, and when you go to wind in, boom, you're in. Whereas the mono, being slippery and slidey, tends to perhaps be a bit more buoyant. It comes up over the top. So, because I do both types of fishing, fresh and saltwater, I use what I call top off, a bit of mono on the top. If I want to peel it off, cut it, store it, I still go straight onto braid if I'm in a boat. Anyway, the thing is with braid, it will go through chafing, you know, rings on the insert, so I couldn't use it all the time retrieving. It's not necessarily playing the fish. So I've put another ring on there. I don't know if you can see that. That's a standard one. It's got sort of double arches at the back to the leg and a first leg there. And the only one I got near enough was that one, which I whipped on. And of course it's got black thread with a white blank. So I'm just going to get out of here. Didn't know I was an artist, did you? No, I'm not type of artist, not a painting artist. A little bit of white paint. And I'm not going to bother, you know, anything else that's going to do this. My great one just for sealing it up. And I'm going to be using this brush because I have found something. I don't know whether people have used them before. I'll show you in a minute. I'm very excited. It is going to be used when the weather warms up for replacing my 40-year-old bobbins. So I'm just going to get on with this. Bear with me. Probably won't only have one coat of paint on it. At least it'll be sealed up against the elements, because I do take it sea fishing as well as freshwater fishing. I'll show you what I mean. There we go. There you go, all done. You'd barely be able to see that. But what I found, I was in the potting shed, stripping down the bamboo canes, restoring them, and I thought, what are these little things here? Oh my God, I just hope they make a bigger size. Check them out. I pulled off these little things. Can you see them? These little black things. I didn't know what they were. I've never seen them before. But they go round gardening canes. Just like that. You see? I don't know if you can see that one. Doing it on the rod. And they're sprung. Are you with me? These could make superb bobbins if they do them in the larger size. And I'm going to paint these white, clip them on an iron. And how easy are they to get on and off? Look. Really fast. And I could make different sizes. So I've got to go in the garden centre, see if I can get larger sizes. Maybe some of you guys that do gardening know. Do they do a larger size of these things? There. Let's put it there. You can see it there. Absolutely ideal. Just clip them on your line, take them off, dead easy. But they're black, so I need to paint those white. I think the best way to paint these, I've got a couple of old rusty nails. I can clip them on there. That keeps them quite tight. Hopefully the small brush I've got here will be enough. Let's get a bit of paint on there just to get them white on the top. I don't want to get it in the spring area because that'll just make them stiff, won't it? This way I can see them against the backdrop, and I've got a feeling they're going to be absolutely ideal for spotting bites on twitchy fish when I'm freelining in the margins in the decent weather, not this awful cold dampy stuff. I don't like that. Can't wait for the spring. So I think I can then put this in the vise. Not sure why I'm painting the underside. Does anybody know why I'm painting the underside? You never see it, do you? I'm not going to be laying down. Doesn't matter if I paint the nail as well. But I'm going to go to the garden centres and see if I can find some bigger ones of these. So I'll get a couple of packets. That would be dead handy. Paint them all ready for the season. I'm just going to stick that in the vise, let it dry, and get on with the next job. Okay, I'm wrapped up because it's cold, but just a couple of things here I wanted to show you. What I do is I bring the camera over here. If you remember when I was in the Totally Awesome workshop, I was painting these tiny little clips that I found on a garden cane. And I imagine they're for holding the plant stem to the cane, and they absolutely look perfect for bobbins. But since then, I've been sending some more floats. If you remember, I did want to show you some floats by Andy Cowdery now. Yesterday I was out fishing on the Avon and caught grayling and some out of season brown trout. All went back, everything goes back. I'm not interested in eating freshwater fish. What else did I have? Oh, roach, minnows, and a few minnows, which I don't think I've had on that stretch I was on before. Couldn't get the big dace I was after. Hey ho, just the way it was. I got to try a float by Bill Rushmer that he gave me, a couple of floats, and one by Andy. And since then, can't believe it. Andy said, I'm going to try and make some small Avon body floats. They're really good. They look really good. And I caught on them yesterday. I'm having a senior moment. I caught, there's something I'm missing. I've got grayling, I've got roach, trout, minnows. I didn't get the dace. It must have been something else I caught. Can't think what it was. Anyway, I'm going to show you these, but I'll show you the bite indicators, and I'll show you some of these floats. The floats are worth looking at, so I'm going to bring the camera right up here. Right, so the clips I had were these. I've since painted them white so they stand out, and they would obviously just ping, drop on the grass. They'll just clip easily over the line for a bobbin. You see me use plastic sleeves off of notepads. These I feel better, I can just pop them off. But looking around, wifey came up with something, and yes, Poundland, even better. These things were on a clip. They're the same thing. They're just called jaw clips. Better, they're a bigger size, and I think these will be much better for what I want. As you can see, that's why they're called jaw clips. I just painted them white, just so you can open them, clip them over your line like that there. There's the line, and it can go up and down. As you can just, if you hook a fish, just grab it, squeeze it, drop it on the floor, put it in your pocket. So these are bigger size. I think they're all of £1.99 for 6, whatever they were. So 6 bobbins painted white with free paint. I like the sound of that. Anyway, let's show you these floats. So Andy's done me these floats. They are 4 bamboo waggler style floats, and they look really pretty cool, as you can see there. It's got the size on there. I don't know if you guys can see that. 3 number 1. This one takes, it's got our logo on there as well, look. Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Nice piece of whipping, nice varnish, nice finish on the in the ring at the bottom. That one, 4 number 1. A 4BB, 4BB. So they're quite good for, I'm going to say, casting out for, let's say carp with floating crust, that type of thing, attached bottom end only. The only drawback I would say is they're very fat on the top, so you're going to have to find a valve rubber of substantial size to go over there for your fishing line, because you're going to need a rubber to go over the top of that. So check in your local tackle shop, or maybe Andy knows of a rubber size that's going to fit that and where to get them from. So bamboo waggler style floats. Now Andy sent me these right at the wrong time when I was fishing yesterday, because I was fishing with one of Bill Rushman's Avon style floats, but these have got a much more rigid stem, which I think will be better. And these are, he said they're sort of experimental. Listen, you know, these are sort of collector style floats, and smaller here that you can, you know, get a decent float rubber on. Lovely finish on them, whip down. And there, I can't quite read that. Is that 3BB that one takes?
and he's put them on there. These I could have caught with yesterday, definitely. 2 BB plus a number 1. So Andy's taken a lot of trouble trying to get these shotting patterns right. Now probably if you're asking to make 5,000 of them, it's not going to happen, is it? Because they're all handmade, these. So if you do order any, you've got to wait for them. But I'm just trying to go in close up, and you can see what they look like. They're nice. And there's the yellow tip one in case I'm running a float through, let's say, chub fishing for overhangs, willow trees, possibly in the summer when you want something that stands out. And the red ones there, orange, you can use a standard, I would say, when you're fishing what I call shiny water. So I really look forward to using those. But finally, he sent me some here. He's called these 4 bonus surprise floats. Right. There's a nice looking waggler. That one I would definitely use, possibly tench fishing, bream fishing, that type of thing. It's a nice long one, and he does that nice whipping down. I suppose you could do these in matte varnish. Is that a matte varnish I'm looking at there? It looks like that's in a matte varnish if people don't particularly like shiny varnish on their floats. That one takes 3 BB plus a number 4. I think that's 1 number 4. And you know, giving you quite a good bit there if you want a long sliding type of bite. Say for instance if you're using a worm and you want shot into there, if you put the worm on, this will weight of the worm will probably drag it down a little bit more. So always remember that if you buy a float that's got a little bit like this at the top, the actual float marker, if you shot into that and then put 3 grains of sweet corn on, a big cube of luncheon meat, a big lob worm, is going to drag it under the water. So do allow for slight undershotting, I'm going to say, if you're using a big, heavier bait. This one looks like the luxury version, bodied sort of haven. And that takes 4 BB. They're all my sort of range for the rivers I fish. So 3 and 4 BB is ideal. But look at these two people. Let's move those over there. Now that is something different, is it not? You can see the finish and the shading on that. I'm going to say that Andy's floats are nice to use, but not nice to lose. Good gimmick, isn't it? Somebody, a float person, will come up with that. You should use that, Andy, if you're selling these floats now. Nice to use, not great to lose. But this is the one, the pièce de résistance, that caught my eye. If I get in as close as I can before the camera focus goes, right? I'm going to gently roll this one around. Watch, 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 watch. Wowee. Look at that. Is that not impressive? Yes, I know that won't catch you any more fish. I realise that. But you float fishing aficionados out there, aficionados, I like that one, Graham, out there, might like something like that. Now, I don't know whether Andy could personalise floats like that, and on the other side, put your own personal name on. I feel he can. And that looks like probably a 3 or 4 BB again. It is indeed a 4 BB. So what about that? That is something different, that feather there. Decent sized float rubber on there. Now, if anything, I would like to see maybe a smaller tip to that, maybe the diameter of this. I don't necessarily need that big tip. That's me personally. Let us know in the comments page, you float guys and river guys. Do you like a nice big fat tip like that? I can't believe I just said that, but I did. Do you like a large size to the end of your float? I'll rephrase that one. Or would you like, you know, something more like that continued right through there? Let us know. Andy calls himself Black Bottom Floats, and he said he tried, I'll read you what he says, look. Dear Graham, as discussed in my email, please find enclosed a set of Avon style floats which I hope are a good match for your trusty old friend of 30 plus years. That would be an Avon float like that I always cast very carefully. Well, it's old, it's probably 35 years old. I'm still using it, I still catch on it. I hope you like them, I hope you catch a new PB, so do I. I've also included a set of 4 floats made from bamboo canes from a bush in my garden. I know how much you like to keep costs down, and what can be cheaper than these, and I agree totally. I've made and used a set for myself and have had great success with some carp in the margins. So there you go, a bit of fun float fishing there in the margins. These ones, the open body would be good for river fishing, just average You know, not giant ones on the Thames where you've got cars a long way, but standard rivers. Finally, I've enclosed a small selection of my floats which I hope you'll appreciate. He said, after you featured my floats on your video, I talked about them before, you know, because they're really nicely finished. I was very humbled by the kind comments left by you guys, the awesome army. And based on you, the awesome army, the comments of enthusiasts, I've plucked up the courage to sell some on eBay. Much to my surprise, people are buying them, and this encourages me to make more and experiment with different designs. Now, check out with Andy, because look, they're just floats that Andy's seen me use on the TA fishing show. There might be a different design float that you think, oh, I really like this, or a waggler with a this and a that. He might be able to make it for you. Stuff you might not get in a tackle shop. Well, you probably won't get them in a tackle shop. They're all totally handmade and take time. I would like to thank you and your viewers, that's you, for their kind comments and encouragement. Tight lines, blah, 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 blah. P.S. Don't stop fishing and keep putting up those films. And he just says this, P.P.S. If you have a particular float in mind that you like, please let me know and I will try my best to make it. And it's called Black Bottom Floats. And you can contact, say, Mike on our page if you're interested in floats like that, and Mike can probably give you Andy's email if Andy wants to do it via email, but you can look on eBay and see if you can find them there. You'll recognise some of these. I think they're really nice looking floats. I certainly have never seen floats made to this standard, you know, really, really nice varnish standard. So there you go, guys. Something a little bit different, which is what you always get on a TA fishing show. And no, you know we're not selling them. I'm just trying to help somebody out, Andy, a float maker who's just doing it in spare time. And obviously it's turning into something you never know might be full time. And they look pretty, and not everybody's going to be having these. How nice it would be to win a match, catch a big fish, catch your PP on a float that you're pretty sure the guy next to you in the other swims hasn't got. And it ain't made of plastic. I like them. Well, I consider myself extremely lucky to get that big chub. That was something else. A bonus, just pure luck. I wouldn't attach any skill to the fact. The only thing was, I was holding the rod. I think honestly, if it had been a rod rest, I would have missed it. It would have gone bonk, gone. Interesting about those floats as well. And talking of interesting things, I'm going for a walk, taking Mike's, Jack Russell, and the wife in that order for a walk on a river walk. We call it the river walk. And I'm always looking for creatures and animals and fish and stuff like that. And I saw this weird, really, really bright fungus, very, very small, sort of red, but it was the colour that got me, and the size, it was tiny. Does anybody out there know what type of fungus this is? I'm not any form of fungus expert whatsoever. I know it's not a mushroom. I know it's not going in a frying pan, not my frying pan anyway, but some of you people out there, I know, follow these type of things, sort of outdoor bushcrafty stuff, and I've had a look around and I can't seem to find that one. Does anybody know what type it is? Just a bit of interest for you. There's no prizes, it's just purely interest. Anyway, thanks for watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. I hope you enjoyed this little one. Going to put some more together, maybe do a double upload next week if this weather keeps going grim. And of course, in a minute the river season will be closing down here in the UK. Always seems to flood towards the end of the season. You guys, the river guys, have you noticed that? End of February it starts flooding and you go, oh my God, am I actually going to get another day in? Anyway, hit that subscribe button. TA Fishing, TA Outdoors. We'll see you in the next programme. I'm going back to finish that piece of furniture for wifey. See you in the next episode.